I wrote this down and I always say this, but I really don't know how else to put it except the fact that Jesus came in my room. It was like I had never experienced anything like it. His presence came to me, and I think it was around like 12. And I felt this overwhelming sense of peace in my room. And I remember I saw a clip, this Christian influencer, her name is Ali Yost, and I always say is the reason why I think I got saved, because I saw a video of her the day before. It came up on my TikTok and it was her talking about Jesus. So the thought of Jesus kind of was in my mind the day before. And then
Wow.
I think that's what opened the door to let him in, because I always say he's a gentleman. He's not going to barge into your life, you know what I mean? And so I think once I started to think about him, the next night, that's when he came to me. And it really felt like he took my hand and just said, I am here to rescue you, and try this again now with me. And so, yeah, and I remember I went to bed that night feeling Jesus so close to me. And I just, like, to explain this to someone who's not Christian, whenever I tell my story to some people who aren't believers, it sounds crazy. But there's nothing like the presence of God. I always say this, there's just nothing like it.
Amen.
And so the next morning, it's so funny because I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, okay, where do I start, Jesus? How do I start following you? I don't even know anything.
How do I pray?
How do I pray? So I looked up, how do I give my life to Jesus? And I said this prayer, Lord, I don't know what I'm doing, but I know that I just met you.
Amen.
And I want to give my entire life to you. And I did.
God
And slowly
bless her.
but surely, Jesus carried me through everything I was going through. And it was such an intimate time with Jesus because he was the only one I had. And so every day I would wake up and I was like, okay, what are we doing today? How are you gonna, get me through today? And I always say that what I went through was such a blessing in my life because the way that I got to know the Lord. And it was just such a special, sacred time. And so, ever since then, my life really was forever changed.